Ladies and gentlemen, we have some really exciting news about Black Ops 6 DLC 2 Zombies map. Now, I know Citadelle Des Morts literally just came out. Like, we completed the Easter egg not even a week ago, but we already have a very substantial amount of information to go over in regards to the brand new Zombies map that will most likely be coming out in the next couple of seasons. I mean, we just got a brand new map, so I wouldn't expect it anytime super soon, but we do have a lot of knowledge on what this map is going to be, where it's going to take place, and potentially even wonder weapons and a lot of exciting stuff as well. So we're also going to be discussing brand new Gobblegum that will either be coming in between seasons or that will be launching with the release of the new Zombies map as well. So we have a lot today. It's going to be a deep dive into DLC 2 and a lot of information that I think you guys will find exciting. Now, we've set a goal for ourselves to hit 600K before the end of 2024, and we are dangerously close to getting there. So if you guys would like to subscribe, that would be the best Christmas present ever, but we'll leave that for now. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel, but let's get into all this. Okay, so at the end of the Citadelle Des Morts Easter egg, we get a couple of really big reveals, namely that Dr. Kraft is actually Edward Richthofen's adopted father. There's a lot of radios in the map where he recounts his experience, you know, sort of adopting Edward Richthofen as a young boy and kind of growing up with him. That's been very well established now, and there's a lot of interesting stuff just to delve into within that. But obviously, Edward Richthofen is behind basically everything that's been going on in Black Ops 6 Zombies. He essentially created the island of Terminus, or that facility that was on there. He's very much responsible for trying to find the Sentinel artifact in the dig site that we're going to be, you know, heading towards. In Kraft's final words, he talks about taking the amulet that we got at the end of the Easter egg to the dig site, or the excavation site, and which is also located in France, as Citadelle Des Morts is a castle found in France. Origins itself in Black Ops 2 is another map found in France, and it's not too far away from here, so it's reasonable to assume that that's exactly where we're heading next. But there's a couple of things, because I really don't think we're going to be heading to Origins as we've come to know it. I do think that this is going to be an excavation site. It is a dig site, but it's going to be a little bit different to, you know, the exact layout of what we see in Black Ops 2. However, what I do find interesting is we have quite a lot of maybe the map's layout already in the game, particularly in the Warzone map. We can see this excavation site right here, and what's even more interesting about it is this actually leads to a map that we've seen before in Black Ops 2, and no, it's not Origins. It's actually a multiplayer DLC map called Dig, and I think this is probably right now the best representation of what this map is going to look like as far as the excavation site goes. Now, the thing with Origins was that you had two layers going on. You had the upper section, which was the actual excavation site, where it's the bit more, you know, mundane, kind of like more grounded, realistic, plausible, and then you had that underneath layer of the hidden powers, and you would go to the crazy place and experience some absolutely wild things that you would not associate with the upper side of the map at all. And so it showed you clear as day that this is not just a regular World War I battlefield. This is not just the monotonous, realistic take on a World War I battlefield that we would expect. There's something quite more sinister or powerful going on underneath the surface. That's part of what made Origins so great, was that hidden layer. However, I do think we're going to see a lot of that in this DLC 2 map. I actually think the best representation of what we're going to see for the, let's say, maybe above ground section is going to be this map Dig from Black Ops 2. That sort of combined with what we see in Warzone as well, I can imagine a lot of that aesthetic and even that literal level design being part of the new Zombies map. However, I do think there's going to be this kind of underneath crazy place layer, or what might be associated with the Dark Ether here, and because the Sentinel artifact is so close in proximity, it could be something totally different. Inside of the game files, there is a text of string that might be text, but it relates to probably the new map, and it says, "Control, a meteorite has broken above the area, scattering fragments of element 115 across the AO. Each fragment is highly volatile and must be destroyed. The guild is already on site attempting to retrieve them. Locate and destroy every fragment and eliminate any threats in the area." This is most likely coming from one of the handlers that will be in the map. This also means element 115 in some form or fashion comes back into play, and I think this would be the map to do it on. But just to make this a bit more concrete, we have the leaked name of the DLC 2 map, which is ZM_Opal. Now, Citadelle Des Morts was called ZM_Bloodstone, which I thought had to do with Maya and her necklace that she wears, which is a bloodstone. And in a way, that did kind of make sense, because Maya was a prominently featured character that had her own special Easter egg in this map. So while it's kind of related, I wouldn't read too much into this, but the next map is called ZM_Opal, at least as its internal name. And here's a texture from Citadelle Des Morts, and this is actually inside of the boss fight arena with the Guardian, and we can see these pillars colors are a very similar texture to what we see in the original Origins Crazy Place. It's not exactly a lattice pattern, but this is a very recognizable Call of Duty Zombies pattern, and it takes place in the Guardian Arena, like it's very present there. And because a lot of this wall texturing is also supposed to appear in the DLC 2 map, I think we're going to see some kind of real like Crazy Place or Undercroft. Now let's talk a little bit about the wonder weapons that are going to appear in this map. These have been leaked, and it appears that the 4 wonder weapon formula is going to be making a return. Now obviously Origins, it's known for its staves, and these were the beginning of the 4 wonder weapon elemental formula. This was quite literally the birthplace of it in Call of Duty Zombies, so it would be kind of strange to do a Origins similar map or a dig site and not have some kind of 4 elemental weapons. And luckily we can kind of take a picture at these, and what we see is this sort of like torch and or sorcery staff. These look very reminiscent of maybe like a wizard staff, but they are called ZM Opal Torch. So if we're going off of that, we can assume that we have 4 elemental torches, all with their own like crystal associated with them. Now we don't know what the elements themselves necessarily are right now, but we do know that these torches and or these sorcery staffs are going to be involved, and they are elemental indeed, and they're all going to have their individual quests, probably very similar to how these swords are in Citadelle Des Morts. This is also exactly how the Origin staffs worked originally, where you needed to get the parts to build the staff itself, and then you needed to get the associated crystal for that to work. So it looks like they're taking a very similar approach here, but we already have a pretty good idea of what the level design might look like, the wonder weapons, and some other stuff that's coming with it, and we're going to be chasing down Richtofen and the Sentinel artifact. But let's talk about brand new Gobblegum for a moment. So currently, we know that a confirmed Gobblegum that will be coming to Black Ops 6 at some point is shopping free. This is first appeared in Black Ops 3 and gives you a minute where you can buy literally anything for absolutely free. So if you have a really good route, you can open up pretty much the entire map for free, and I assume it's going to work very much the same here, and I can only imagine it's also going to be like an Ultra Gobblegum. This is definitely going to be red rarity when it does come to the game. But it looks like we're getting another Gobblegum called Absolutely Over There, and we have no clue what this does at the moment. A lot of people think that you can essentially select a place you want to teleport to, although I'm not totally sure if that's exactly how it's going to work. If this is a real Gobblegum, I mean not a whimsical, then it probably does involve you teleporting, but I can absolutely see this being a whimsical gum, and maybe it makes zombies like fly off into space when you kill them. Not exactly going up, but maybe like ragdoll really far or just something like that. They get pushed back kind of like a thunder gun blast. If it's a whimsical, I could see it being that, but we don't really know exactly what this is going to be. But we do know there's another Gobblegum coming called Dead Drop, and this is a purple rarity Gobblegum. We also don't know precisely what this does. A Dead Drop is usually like a crate or something that has like valuables and stuff to pick up, but we don't really know exactly what that means. Maybe if you bleed out and come back, maybe it sort of works like Tombstone in Black Ops 2 where you pick up your stash. Honestly, that would make sense to me. Dead Drop as a name kind of works well with that, and that's what my money would be on. But Absolutely Over There, Dead Drop, and Shopping Free are confirmed Gobblegum at the moment, but there are a few ones that we speculate may be coming but are not totally sure. In the background of some of the Gobblegum promotional images, we can see both Fear and Headlights and Flavor Hexed. And Fear and Headlights kind of works like the sort of Weeping Angel effect, where if you're looking at something, they completely freeze. It's kind of like Killing Time, but only if you're looking at something. But the problem is, the technology to make Killing Time is not currently in the game, and I don't know if this would actually work as a Gobblegum in Black Ops 6 right now. Not that they couldn't add it, but it's so in the background that I could honestly see this maybe just being filler and not necessarily coming to the game, although I would genuinely love it. The other one is Flavor Hexed, which basically pulls a random Gobblegum that's not currently in your pack. So it could be like literally anything in the game, but it's just something that you don't currently have equipped. Now, we'll leave Gobblegum for a second. There is still strings in the code about the Raygun Mark II and also a couple of new perks. And obviously, we've gotten Vulture Raid with the most recent map, but we also think that Death Perception and possibly Mule Kick and maybe Double Tap might come to the game. That stuff we'll talk about a little bit more in the future. But one thing I wanted to point out really quick that I found interesting, I tweeted about this the other day. I realized that Patient 13 inside of Terminus has a weird connection to Infinite Warfare zombies. I made a video like 7 years years ago about this vial that somebody drank in the Infinite Warfare Zombies timeline that was a vial labeled 13. Now, I understand that Patient 13 in regards to Black Ops 6 is a very different person, but I find it weird that somebody drank a vial labeled 13 and basically turned into a mutant, essentially, more or less the Rat King, and there is a Rat King Easter egg in this map. I don't know if that's a slight nod, I'm not really sure, but what's even weirder about this is that, you know, this is a vial of something, and we take a mutant injection to turn into the Mangler in this game, and the number that's on the shoulder pad of the Mangler is 13. At this point, maybe I'm just schizo posting here, I don't know, but I just had that connection the other day, and I thought it was unbelievably strange, and I wanted to show you guys for people who maybe didn't know about it. I mean, they've already tied the Black Ops 4 Chaos storyline back into the Dark Ether universe. If they somehow tie the Infinite Warfare Zombies timeline in as well, I think I might actually lose my mind, but you guys can tell me what you think of that down below. But either way, the point of this is that the next Zombies map will be an excavation dig site. We're going to be getting 4 Wonder Weapons elemental again, most likely torches, and we will also be hunting down the Sentinel artifact and possibly encountering Richtofen. We'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching.